In 1124, Stirling was made a royal borough by David I, and 2024 marks its 900th anniversary. The Market Cross in Stirling is believed to date from the 12th century. It's known that William the Lion, who had the King's Park, a hunting ground, created, had merchants out with the borough bring their goods, such as wool, skins and hides, to the Market Cross in the town, so presumably it was already there. From this document, it's known that the cross was one of the earliest places in Stirling for trading. It was also a symbol of royalty and law and order in the royal borough. It was here the accession of a new monarch was proclaimed, as well as new acts of parliament. It was also here that traitors were outlawed. It was a site of rejoicing and of punishment. It has been surmised that there was also an ecclesiastical element to the early ones, but this was not attached to the later market crosses. They were erected by royal charter from the monarch and were a privilege and honour to have in any newly created royal borough. They were the focal point of the town or village, as the main weekly markets sprang up around the crosses. The Stirling Market Cross is associated with many historical incidents. One of these was the murder of the Earl of Douglas by James II in 1452. Douglas had 4 stout brothers who surrounded the castle. They didn't manage to penetrate its walls, but it was a show of defiance in a very public fashion. It was said they nailed the safe conduct to the Market Cross so that everyone could read it, or at least those who could read it. Then it was taken through the miry streets of the town, tied to the tail of a wretched horse, and all the time spoke uncouth or slanderous words. They also went on to destroy any property that belonged to the king and caused the local burgesses that were loyal to the king some misery. The cross was where it was proclaimed what the price of goods would be, such as food and clothing, which was agreed by the town council from time to time. It was also the place where in August 1547 all the inhabitants of the borough who were able to bear arms would do so, regardless of age, rank, condition, including churchmen and laymen, to meet at Fallamure in order to resist the English army. They were told to take what arms they could, and enough food to last 20 days. They settled by a stream, made fires and cooked oatcakes to keep themselves going. Unsure of how many men could be mustered, the regent told the provost, David Forrester of Garden, to construct gibbets for all those who refused, with the provost being held responsible. This whole affair ended with a disastrous defeat at Pinkie. In May 1569, Regent Murray ordered that 4 priests from Dunblane be hanged at Stirling for saying Mass against an Act of Parliament. He commuted the sentence, however, and the 4 were to be chained to the Market Cross for an hour, with the vestments, books and chalices. Here the mob pelted them with stones and attacked their dignity. Their vestments and books were burned by the common executioner. In 1599, James Henderson was ordered to go to the Market Cross and confess that he had disobeyed the kirk and local magistrates and had injured them with drawn weapons. He was also fined £10 Scots. In 1607, Lawrence Thompson, who had mocked the bailies and showed contempt for God, was carried on a sled through the town, barefoot and bareheaded in a sark, with a paper on his head bearing the cause of his punishment. He was brought to the cross and tied to it, and ordered to stand there at the will of the bailies. On 12th May 1617, the treasurer was ordered to buy some leaves of gold for James VI's coat of arms, the toll booth and the market cross for the occasion of his visit. In 1648, an iron rail was ordered to be hung on the cross for wrongdoers in the town. On 21st April 1652, an oath of allegiance to the Commonwealth was ordered to take place at the market cross by all the male inhabitants of the town. When James VII became king, the provost, town council, gildery, trades and communities all gathered for the proclamation and shouted as one, "God bless King James VII." On 16th April 1689, Their Majesties King William and Queen Mary were proclaimed with all solemnity. On 16th March 1702, Queen Anne's Ascension was proclaimed. In 1707, the Union of the Parliaments was also proclaimed, but had a mixed response from the Stirling folk, with some of them having previously burned the Articles of Union at the market cross, much to the dismay of the magistrates. This union also saw Stirling lose its royal borough privileges. George I was proclaimed on 6 August 1714 as king, and this was followed by a proclamation offering £5,000, rising to £100,000, for the capture of the Old Pretender, James VIII. In 1719, a similar proclamation was read out for the capture of Rob Roy MacGregor. On 9th January 1792, an application was made to the Court of Session to have the market cross moved. An inspection of Stirling was made, and it was agreed that the new site for the cross be directly opposite where it already stood, and a new one, a pillar, be erected. This was agreed, that the pillar be the market cross, and hold the same rights and privileges as the old one. On 19th June 1792, it was agreed the old cross be taken down, and this was duly done, and the pillar was erected on the spot between the street and the foot pavement on Broad Street. At the time, it consisted of an octagonal pillar resting on 4 circular steps. On top of it was the unicorn, the animal of Scotland, extending the royal arms of Scotland and surmounted by a crown, the shield being encircled by the collar of St Andrew. However, part of the capital was by this time missing and has never been found. The unicorn from the old market cross was erected over the entrance of the old waterhouse and fire engine house near the top of Spittal Street. Boys who attended the nearby school often pelted it with stones, and it became badly damaged until it was removed in 1829 by Baillie Thorburn, who had it repaired. It was then hung over the entrance of the old justiciary in Broad Street, where it remained until 1891, when, thanks to Provost Robert Yellowlees, the market cross was again restored and rebuilt on its original site. The new market cross was unveiled on 23rd May 1891 in front of a large crowd. Although the market cross had been moved several times in its history, it has always been situated in Broad Street. It had been a scheduled monument, but was descheduled on 13th May 2016. The jougs, which had been attached to the market cross, are now in the Smith Art Gallery and Museum in Stirling. If you enjoyed this episode of Scotland's History, please like, comment and subscribe. Until next time, thank you for watching.